the U.S. economy.
The nomination must be approved by the Senate. Once confirmed, Mr. Powell will succeed Janet Yellen in February next year. 64-year-old Powell had been tipped as the favorite in recent days. The other contenders included several that would have represented a sharp change in monetary policy.
Expectations are Mr. Powell will continue the policy direction set by Ms. Yellen, supporting her cautious approach to raising interest rates. Speaking at the White House, he said he'll do everything necessary to achieve the Fed's goals of stable prices and maximum employment.
In the years since the global financial crisis ended, our economy has made substantial progress toward full recovery. By many measures, we're close to full employment, and inflation has gradually moved up toward our target. Our financial system is also, without doubt, far stronger and more resilient than it was before the crisis. Our banks have much higher capital and liquidity. They're more aware of the risks that they run, and they're better at managing those risks. While post-crisis improvements in regulation and supervision have helped to achieve these gains, I will continue to work with my colleagues to ensure that the Federal Reserve remains vigilant and prepared to respond to changes in markets and evolving risks.
For more, let's speak to Will Denslow, who joins us from New York. Will, Jerome Powell is seen as a safe choice to succeed Janet Yellen. We know he's a Republican. We know he's an investment banker. What else will he be able to bring to this job?
Well, essentially, he brings with it a certain degree of experience. Of course, he's been member of the Fed since 2012. He's been a member of the Board of Governors since then. So, of course, not seen as quite as much of an outsider of some of other President Donald Trump's picks, of course, considering the likes of Rex Tillerson having to switch from CEO of ExxonMobil to becoming U.S. Secretary of State. Of course, you mentioned his ties with the Republican Party, previous investment banker. But interestingly, he studied law, so this makes him the first Federal Reserve chair in some 4 decades to not have an economics degree. Very interesting point there. And also, he's very much seen by his colleagues as a centrist, also seen as a pragmatist. And according to President Trump, he's very confident that he'll do a good job as the next Federal Reserve chair.
He's strong, he's committed, he's smart. And if he is confirmed by the Senate, Jay will put his considerable talents and experience to work leading our nation's independent central bank, which has the critical responsibility to set monetary policy and monitor our banking system as a whole.
And there are indications he seems in favor of relaxing some of the rules and regulations on some of the big U.S. banks and industries. So that's something, of course, is something that President Donald Trump is very much in favor of.
Well, current Fed Chair Janet Yellen was among the front runners as well, but she wasn't picked. What legacy do you think she'll leave behind?
Well, of course, Donald Trump on the campaign trail, if we cast our minds back just about over a year ago, really, he said that he accused Janet Yellen of creating somewhat of an economic bubble. Of course, he's backtracked. They're very pleased with how the stock market is performing at the moment. Donald Trump described Janet Yellen as doing what he really describes as doing an excellent job. Of course, U.S. GDP up at an annualized rate of 3% for the third quarter. Looking at the U.S. unemployment rate, that ticked down last month to 4.2%. That the lowest seen since December 2000. So very good data there. So really good signs that Janet Yellen's policies of slow and steady, gradually raising interest rates in many ways is making an impact. And of course, Powell likely to continue with that.